So you've heard about Silver Spring, Maryland. Everyone's talking about its incredible diversity, the vibrant downtown, and how it's perfectly perched right on top of Washington, D.C. And you know what? They're not wrong. It really is a cultural melting pot with amazing food and a bustling art scene and a genuine sense of community. But here's the thing the locals don't tell you. Living in this amazing community, it comes with a financial reality that catches so many newcomers completely by surprise. We're not talking about it being just a little pricey. The cost of living here is a staggering 34% to 43% higher than the national average. So before you even think about looking at homes or packing a single box, we need to talk about the real cost of living in Silver Spring. So that dream of an urban suburban paradise, it can quickly turn into a financial nightmare if you're not prepared. So we're going to cover the 5 biggest reasons you might need to think twice. Now, before we go any further, it's important to know just how big Silver Spring actually is. This isn't a small town. It spans 6 major zip codes, stretching from the DC line all the way up north towards Olney, Maryland. That means living in 20901 zip code can feel completely different from 20906 zip code. 20901 gives you that classic inside the Beltway experience, tree-lined streets, older colonial homes, walkable parks, and quick metro access. 20906, on the other hand, it sits miles north, it's more suburban, you have bigger lots, newer shopping center, and a 20-minute longer drive to downtown DC. So when people say Silver Spring, they could be talking about 2 different lifestyles and 2 very different price brackets. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Patina Thomas, a realtor serving the Washington, D.C. metro area. I live and work here in Montgomery County, Maryland. Let's get into today's video. All right, coming in at number 1, and it's the biggest financial hurdle by a long shot. It's the absolute brutal housing market. So whether you're looking to buy or rent, get ready for some serious sticker shock. Let's talk numbers. So the median listing price for a home in Silver Spring, Maryland hovers between $550,000 and $565,000. And that's significantly higher than the national average. And if you're looking for something smaller like a townhome, you're still easily looking at around $450,000 to $700,000, depending on the zip code, of course. So condos, they're more affordable, average around $300,000. However, condo fees throughout Silver Spring, it varies. You can find some with lower, with slightly more affordable condo fees than others. In those desirable neighborhoods close to the metro or downtown, expect those numbers to keep climbing. Now you might be thinking, okay, buying is tough. I'll just rent for a while. Well, the rental market isn't much more forgiving. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is going to set you back for anywhere from $2,000 to over $2,200 a month. Some sources even put the median rent for all property types around $2,047 monthly. If you want a 1-bedroom, expect to pay around $1,800 or more. The prices are well above the national average. And if you're eyeing a luxury apartment downtown, you could be paying over $3,000 a month. And here's the real kicker. The market is incredibly competitive. Homes sell fast, often going under contract in just a couple of weeks. And it's common for properties to get multiple offers, which drives the price up even more. So not only are you paying for a premium, but you're also fighting for the right to do it. So this isn't a market for casual browsing. You have to be ready to move fast and be aggressive. And that pressure, it just adds another layer of stress to the financial burden. And those bargains you may spot further from the city center, they often come with a hidden cost like mandatory HOA fee that can run several $100s a month, or the need for major renovation on an older home. Maybe you can budget for a high mortgage or rent. But the second reason to reconsider Silver Spring is how the high cost of living seeps into every other part of your life. It's a financial drain that goes far beyond your housing payments. Let's start with a need, your grocery bill. So in Silver Spring, you'll be paying about 10% to 12.7% more for groceries than the national average. And that might not sound like a huge deal, but it adds up month after month, year after year. A simple gallon of milk, a dozen of eggs, a loaf of bread, every single item on your shopping list just costs that little bit more. Then you've got utilities. The average utility bill for an apartment including electricity, gas, and water, it can easily run from $150 to over $200 a month. And that's for a modest space. But just wait for those hot and humid summer months. Your electricity bill, it will definitely spike thanks to the air conditioning. And in Montgomery County in general, I've heard a lot of homeowners, myself included, has been complaining about the spike in our Pepco bill. That's our electricity bill. That's no joke. Now, what about getting around? Transportation costs, they are also inflated, running anywhere from 2% to nearly 20% higher than the US average. Gas prices, car maintenance, and even public transit fares are more expensive. So while the metro is a fantastic way to get to DC, it's not exactly cheap, and the costs pile up if you're a daily commuter. Even your fun budget takes a hit. A simple dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant, it can easily cost you $50 to $70. A movie ticket is about $13 a pop. All those little things, groceries, utilities, transportation, a night out, it might seem manageable on their own, but when you add them all up, they create this constant financial pressure that just makes it tough to save money, invest, or just have some breathing room. It's a classic case by 1,000 cuts, where your bank account is slowly drained by the high costs of just living. Now, the third reason you might want to avoid Silver Spring isn't about money, but it's just as draining. The traffic. Its prime location is a huge selling point. With easy access to DC and major highways like I-495 Capitol Beltway and US 29, but that convenience comes at a steep price. The average one-way commute in Silver Spring is almost 35 minutes, which is way longer than the US average of about 26 minutes. And trust me, average is just a misleading word here, because during rush hour, that 35 minutes drive, it can easily become an hour or more. The Capitol Beltway, I-495, and US 29, they're infamous for their gridlock, constant accidents, and never-ending construction. It's a daily battle that can leave you exhausted before your workday even begins. Living here, it means you have to plan your entire life around traffic. A quick trip to the store, a doctor's appointment, or meeting friends for dinner, it all requires strategic planning to avoid peak congestion. You'll find yourself constantly checking those traffic apps, trying to find alternate routes that are probably just as clogged. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a huge quality of life issue. The hours you spend sitting in your car are hours you're not spending with your family, working out, or just relaxing. Disclaimer, this traffic isn't exclusive to Silver Spring. It is throughout the entire DC, Maryland, Virginia region. It's something that we have grown used to, and I'm tired of it. And while Silver Spring and Montgomery County on a whole has great public transportation, including the Metro Red Line, the MARC train, an extensive bus network, those systems, they aren't always perfect. The Metro can get incredibly crowded, and service delays, they are a fact of life. So while you might escape driving, you're often just trading one kind of commuter stress for another. So for many residents, that soul-crushing traffic is a daily reality that slowly eats away at the perks of living in such a prime location. All right, if you're finding this information useful and you want more honest guides to cities and suburbs, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's jump into our fourth major reason to reconsider Silver Spring, Maryland. All right, coming in at number 4 is what I like to call the urban-suburban squeeze. So Silver Spring is often sold as the perfect blend of both worlds, city amenities with suburban comfort. And in many ways, that's true. You can find beautiful tree-lined streets, just a short walk from a buzzing downtown. But this blend, it often creates compromises people don't see coming. So as Silver Spring has grown and developed, the density has shot up. This isn't a quiet, sleepy suburban anymore. It's a busy, bustling urban center. And with that comes noise, a lack of privacy, and a constant sense of being surrounded. So if you're coming from a quieter, more spread out area, the background noise of traffic, sirens, and your neighbors living right on top of you or next to you, it can be a major shock. And this is for downtown specifically. Downtown Silver Spring scores mid-90s to 99 walk score, but the citywide average is closer to 60, meaning many neighborhoods in Silver Spring are car dependent. Now back into downtown Silver Spring. So all the new apartments and condo construction has only cranked up the intensity, changing the feel of many neighborhoods and stripping away that quiet town vibe it might have once had. So finding a home with a big backyard or real space between you and your neighbors, that's becoming more rare and incredibly expensive, especially in that 20901 zip code. So you'll have access to amazing parks like Sligo Creek Park or Rock Creek Park, but your own personal slice of quiet, it might be much smaller than you imagine. And this squeeze also hits the social atmosphere. So while the energy of downtown is a huge draw for many, especially young professionals, it can also be overwhelming because the sidewalks, they are crowded, parking is a nightmare, and there's a constant hum of activity that can be draining. You end up with the higher taxes and costs of an urban area without the full-blown metropolitan experience of living in DC proper. And you get the traffic of a suburb without the peace and quiet. It's a trade-off that works for some, but for many, it feels like getting the drawbacks of both worlds without the full benefit of either. The final reason to hit the brakes before moving to Silver Spring, especially if you have a family, is the complicated truth about the school system. So on paper, Silver Spring is part of Montgomery County Public Schools, which is consistently ranked as one of the best school systems in Maryland. And that's a huge selling point for families. But here's the catch. The quality of schools within this top-rated system can vary dramatically from one neighborhood to the next. So while some schools like Montgomery Blair High School, with its famous magnet programs, while they are truly exceptional, not every school in Silver Spring has the same level of performance or resources. So it's a huge mistake to assume that just because you live in Montgomery County, your local school will automatically be top tier. This creates a serious problem for families. To get your kids into the best schools, you often have to afford a home in the most expensive neighborhoods, directly tying your child's education to an already insane housing market. This just adds another layer of financial stress for families who are already stretched thin. You absolutely must research individual schools, but it can be a frustrating game. You might find the perfect house only to realize the zone school doesn't meet your standards, or you'll find a great school, but the homes in that district are completely out of your price range. So this mixed bag of school quality, it means that one of the biggest pros of Silver Spring require a deep level of research and financial firepower that many newcomers just aren't prepared for. So after all that, is Silver Spring a terrible place to live? Absolutely not. Its diversity is a phenomenal asset. The food scene is second to none, and the proximity to DC, it opens up opportunities that are hard to find anywhere else. So for the right person, it truly can be the perfect place to call home. But you have to be the right person. You have to be someone who's ready and financially prepared for a cost of living that's nearly 40% higher than the rest of the country. You have to be someone who wants that urban energy more than the suburban quiet and is willing to do the hard work to find the right neighborhood and school. The point of this video was to pull back the curtain on the financial and lifestyle challenges that often get lost in the excitement. The idea of Silver Spring, it's fantastic, but the reality, it can be a heavy weight if you go in unprepared. What do you think? For those of you who live in Silver Spring, Maryland, what did I miss? And for those of you thinking of moving here, did this change your perspective at all? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.